Hello and welcome to the G-Log for the 7th of June 2015. I am Gary Reaver. So Fallout 4 has been announced at last. I am so happy about this. I was talking to Evan the day before the announcement when they were still counting down, and we weren't 100% sure that it would in fact be Fallout 4. And I said to him that if it is Fallout 4, I bet it'll take place in the Commonwealth and the Institute, because they've been mentioned in Fallout 3 and apparently in New Vegas as well. And we still know very little about them, and I was proven right. The Commonwealth is Boston, Massachusetts, which is where Fallout 4 has been confirmed to be taking place. This video will be about my personal hopes, expectations, and thoughts about what Fallout 4 can be, and this is supposed to go alongside the Fallout 4 trailer analysis linked in the description and at the end, where I go through the trailer shot by shot, talking about what it means, what you're seeing, and possible implications. So, as I've said many times before, Fallout New Vegas is my favourite game of all time. I absolutely love it. I've clocked about 406 hours. It has some of the best world building in any game. Fallout 3 was the most immersive game I'd ever played. It was back on PS3 that I tried it. So there are many things in New Vegas that I want to see in Fallout 4. The faction system was phenomenally better than Fallout 3. In Fallout 3, it was all about the karma. If you were an evil character, you could still complete the game, but if you disliked the Brotherhood of Steel, that's it, the main story is uncompletable. And they remedied that in New Vegas, where karma is just sort of a background thing, but the factions are entirely separate to that, so you could be an evil NCR person. No matter what you did, no matter which factions you pissed off, you could always complete the game because you could always take the independent Vegas route. So if they have that sort of faction system where no matter which side you piss off, you can complete the game, and they have proper factions that you can choose between, I would love that. I theorized slightly in the trailer video. I reckon that the Institute will be a faction, and you can either choose to support them or go against them, but we'll see if that turns out to be true. The second best thing about New Vegas is, of course, the characters. Anyone who's played New Vegas loves the characters. Boone. He doesn't talk much, but when he does, it is just fantastic. You really feel for him. Veronica is my favourite companion. Just her quips are amazing. And comparing this to Skyrim, for example. In Skyrim, I travel with Lydia, and I've modded it so I can have two, so I have Serena as well. And Serena is probably the only interesting companion I've come across, whereas Lydia, yeah, she says the odd interesting thing or funny thing, but for the most part, she's just a silent weapons carrier for me. But in New Vegas, all of the companions, and that's why there are so few, because each of them are so well-rounded, apart from, like, Lily. But they're all so well-rounded that you want to travel with them and you want to hear their stories. And if they could carry that over into Fallout 4 and the characters are as good in Fallout 4, then there could be 5 companions to choose from, and I wouldn't care because they're that good. One slight downside of New Vegas is that the map isn't quite as impressive as it was in 3. The Capital Wasteland is absolutely huge, and you could just walk across the entire map endlessly and find things. Whereas in New Vegas, it's very much a ring road around the central mountains, so that the plot levels you correctly, so you don't just go straight to New Vegas. And yeah, it's cleverly done, but it doesn't feel as free as in 3. Go back to another good thing. The New Vegas DLC, Old World Blues and Lonesome Road, are the best DLC in any game I've ever played. They are that good. Old World Blues blows everything else out of the water. It is so funny, it is so entertaining, it feels like a part of the world, which is interesting for a comedy one. They generally feel disjointed or non-canon, but that really fits at the same time as being this wacky adventure in science. By contrast, the Dead Money DLC is the worst DLC in any game I've ever played. It is utterly awful. The stealth, the clouds, the fact that you lose all of your equipment, the monsters that don't die, it was terrible. It shouldn't have been part of the game, and I pretty much don't play it. Yet even in that, the characters are still great. There's a mute character, and if you have the intelligence to understand what she's trying to tell you, instead of having this sort of lassie interaction that it sort of hints at the beginning, you really, really care about this mute woman. Really well done. It's just the gameplay in that DLC is awful. So again, the characters, as long as they keep the gameplay up and don't try and force us into a sort of linear corridor where we have poor equipment. Actually, that's sort of a thing with all the New Vegas DLCs. Honest Hearts wasn't as good, because again, that limited what you had, and it forced you into this sort of tight corridor situation, whereas Old World Blues and Lonesome Road in particular were a lot more open. New Vegas also took some steps in the right direction, adding weapon mods and different ammo types, which again I think will be expanded on in 4 into full weapon and perhaps armor customization as well. I think that if they do add those, they have to do them right, so that they don't make it too Wasteland 2-y, where scavenging is the only way you can possibly survive. The thing I like about Fallout World is it is post-apocalyptic, but it's post-apocalyptic of the most consumer nation in the entire world. So anywhere you will find caps and bullets and crap everywhere, because it's America. It doesn't matter how many bombs fall on it, there will always be stuff there. Whereas in Wasteland 2, the place has been completely picked over. You'll be lucky if you find pigeon shit, let alone anything of actual value. So if they do decide to go down the scavenging route for the purposes of customization, I want them to stay on the Fallout side rather than the Wasteland side of it. A problem with New Vegas' faction system is that you never belonged. Whichever faction you chose, you were never fully accepted by the people in it, for some unknown reason. So if you chose Caesars, you're always, the outsider. You're doing this for us, but, maybe in 10 years you can be Caesar's cupbearer or something. That's your highest aspiration. Whereas with all the shit I did for Caesar, I should have been his bloody legate. So I hope that it takes more of a Skyrim-esque feel for the factions, where you join them fully and you sort of rise in the ranks so that you are fully a part of it. I mean, I don't think that you should be like the leader of all the factions you join, because that just became a case of this one person is leading half the factions in the entire world. But having it so that you are actually a member and you're fully accepted would be an improvement over New Vegas' factions. A possible innovation that they could add in this one is vertical transport. And again, this is talked about in the trailer one, but there are vertibirds and airships and stuff in the trailer. And I sort of hope that they add these things as a possible vertical transport. So if they actually added these things as, not a core mechanic by any stretch, but vertical transport as a viable option for gameplay. I don't think you should be able to fly the vertibird, but, being able to ride in it, perhaps control it on a sort of further out view while not actually driving it. Perhaps they could even have areas completely inaccessible until you've unlocked the vertibird as a sort of way of marking progression. Overall, I'm very excited about Fallout 4, and I'm going to be following the news very carefully, doing more G-logs and other Fallout 4 videos as new stuff is revealed. If you have any bits that you particularly liked or disliked about 3 in New Vegas, please tell me in the comments, and I would love to have a debate about it, because it is my favourite gaming franchise, and the fact that 4 is announced and the trailer looks so good, I am absolutely stoked for it. So thank you for watching, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I will catch you later.